Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. I'm Tracy Shilchi and today we're talking elections. 3 northeast states to go to polls this month and the first would be Tripura on the 18th of February. The Left Party has been in power for 25 years with Chief Minister Manik Sarkar leading it for the past 20. But this time, unlike our earlier elections where it was direct CPM versus Congress fight, the BJP has added another dimension to the electoral battle, with the Prime Minister rallying across the state and also claiming that Tripura is done with Manik and now wants Hira, which means highways, highways, roadways and airways. Has this struck a note with the voters? Are we actually seeing a wave perhaps going towards the BJP? We'll talk to our guests who are joining us this evening on our panel here. We've got Mr. Deepak Diwan, editor of the Northeast Sun, and Muhammad Ali Khan, spokesperson of the Congress. Also joining us from Tripura, we've got Narayan Kar, who's a former MP of the Rajya Sabha of the CPIM, and we also have Sudesh Verma, spokesperson of the BJP. We'll come to the political voices in a bit, but first, Mr. Deepak, if I could start with you, and as a journalist who's been covering all these elections, especially in the Northeast and Tripura, do you actually see there's a difference in the elections this time around as far as the contest is concerned? It's definitely a three-pronged contest this time.
Well, I can recall my own experience, 1988. It was a similar situation. It was a Congress which had challenged then the CPM party which had ruled for 10 years. And in 1988, Congress won the elections and remained there for 5 years. And after that, that was the last time Congress ruled.
Yes.
And the kind of challenge Congress had given that time, I see the similar picture emerging now. The way the BJP has taken on straight, fight with CPM. And I think in the electoral history of India, it's the first time BJP is giving a challenge to the left front anywhere in the country. It has never happened before. And I think they have done it very well. I think thanks to Congress, my friend here in the studio will be able to explain what happened to the Congress where all their MLAs and why the situation today is like this. I think the Congress has a hand in it.
Khan Saab, would you agree with that? Or what is happening with the Congress there? We don't seem to see as much of vigor and action as far as the Congress is concerned in Tripura, and why is that?
Well, actually, Ms. Tracy, I think there is a lot of vigor and action. I think it is a little understated. We don't like to advertise as much as the BJP does. The BJP advertises every small step that they take. The speeches are loud and their banners are very well lit. But the truth is, the young men and women of Tripura, Nagaland and Meghalaya, they are a different breed from what has been seen in the rest of the country. They are much more forward-looking. They're very progressive in the way they think. The BJP knows that the same kind of politics they use elsewhere will not work, especially in a place like Tripura. The young men and women are keenly aware that, look, these promises have been made in the past. You talk about Hira, right? Highways, infrastructure, roadways, etc. Now, all of these are centrally run schemes. What prevented you from executing these in the last 4 years? The young men and women also remember the contributions of the Congress party. And I'll tell you how. The Congress party has launched several schemes and accords for this region. In fact, many of the special dispensations enjoyed by these 3 states is because of agreements entered into with the Congress government at the center. Prime Minister Modi comes along and he signs, this is more relevant in the context of Nagaland, but I figure it bears repeating. He comes up with the Naga Accord in the first year, hails it as historic, but never follows up on it. The young men and women of Tripura see this. And you should see the kind of reception they gave Mr. Rahul Gandhi. They represent a new brand of politics. And that's why, one more thing, Ms. Tracy, you would have noticed. In this election, the dog whistle politics that the BJP occupies, beef, religion, making people fight against one another in the name of that you belong to different schools of thought, that is not finding much truck. The BJP is only advertising right now that they're doing well, but the reality is far from different.
Well, that of course, because the Northeast is a different fiber altogether as far as if you look at the entire...
How do you justify out of 10 MLAs, 7 of them leaving your party?
Actually, I can
just before the election.
Absolutely.
Actually, Ms. Tracy, that's a fair question and I would love to answer it. In fact, sir and I were on another debate and he asked me the same question and I'll reply in a similar fashion. That is a very good thing. These people leaving is one of the best things that could happen to Congress. You saw in Gujarat also, Mr. Waghela walked out with 14 MLAs, reducing us to less than 40. And then people had written us off, saying, how will you now fight that your senior leaders have left? But when these people leave, it creates space for a new generation of politicians, and that is fantastic. We are seeing, I'll tell you, I should name and credit these people. There are people such as Ranjit Mukherjee who are actually working on the ground, finding out young people who are grassroots level leaders and bringing them into the party. I think that systemic change is important, and if we have to sacrifice a few leaders, I think it's a small price to pay.
All right, we'll have to see if that, of course, is something that eventually pays as far as the result day is concerned. But talking about new faces, 1/6 of the left front candidates are new faces, is what we are getting as far as our, our data is concerned here. Mr. Kar, if I could come to you and, just give us an idea of how is it that the CPM is going to be trying now to contain what is now being called, this BJP push towards Tripura. And by the looks of it, it's going to be definitely a big challenge.
88 election, it was a completely rigged election at that time. During that period, under the leadership of Rajiv Gandhi, it was before the election, they proclaimed the internal emergency, and already it was rigged, and some of the polling booth was captured by the extremist forces. At that time, Congress I and the Tuesdays, the TNB often outfit of the TNB.
All right, I'm sorry, Mr. Kar, we'll have to come back to you, and we'll try and see if that link works in a while. Meanwhile, let me go to the BJP person here. We've got the spokesperson of BJP, Sudesh Verma, as well, joining us from the capital. Sudeshji, as far as things go at the moment, if reports are right, you can see a sea of orange, sea of saffron, instead of red across Agartala at least, and other areas as well. How do you think your campaign is progressing?
You see, Mr. Khan has spoken a lot about the BJP, but I would not react to what he has said. I would rather like to showcase why we are saying that we'll win. It will help your viewers to understand that our claim is not made in vacuum. You see, in 2013 assembly elections, we contested about 50 seats, and we had lost deposits in almost all the seats. The kind of votes we were getting was 250, 300, 500, that kind of votes. The same when the two by-elections took place in 2016, the votes were in 12,000, 10,000, that kind of sea changes happened. And when we had in 2014, 15,000 BJP cadre, today is close to 2 lakhs. So that speaks volumes about organizational growth. When we talk about, winning the state, it's not just based on assumption, it's based on facts. Our cadre expansion has taken place. We have emerged as the party opposing the CPM, so Dadagiri there. We have given a vision to Tripura. You have seen that the whole lot of CPM cadre coming to us and joining the BJP. You have seen the Trinamool has got itself dismantled, and they have come and joined the BJP. Some of the Congress leaders have also joined. So this shows that the BJP is the party that is in the reckoning for power. They see towards the BJP as a party of hope, and the alliance which we have, it has also strengthened the party's claim to form, and we are very confident that we are going to be voted in, and the dictatorship of the CPM for the last 25 years, how it kept the party together, how it ushered in underdevelopment, Tripura never witnessed before, and as the statistics to say so, if some of the people contested, and we are very confident that people of Tripura are going to vote for us.
All right, well, let's go to Narayan Kar again. I believe the link is a bit clearer now. Mr. Kar, I don't know if you've heard Mr. Sudesh Verma very confident that, of course, BJP is going to come to power. First of all, since, just give us an idea of what is it that, is going to go in your favor, despite these 20 years, in fact, of Manik Sarkar, what is it that's going to go for you?
This BJP is talking about they are the nationalist party, but here this time they had collisions with the one extremist outfit, NLFT, often outfit organization with IPFT. They have made a front, and by vote sharing of 9 seats to them. This IPFT is the often outfit of the NLFT, the banded organization, and they, you see, you are talking about Manik and Hira, and you see, Prime Minister does not know the people of Tripura. They don't want Hira like this Himanta Biswa Sharma, Mukul Rai, and these people, those who belongs to Congress, this Sudeep Rai Burman and company. They are the hero of the Modi ji. They are not the. They are the worst people of Tripura, and people of Tripura is very much oil conversant about these people. We have confident that there is no any incumbency in the state of Tripura. We working for the people, particularly for the poor middle class people. So we are confident that they are with us. The BJP has gained something at the cost of Congress, at the cost of this Trinamool Congress, at the cost of this IPFT, but not at the cost of CPIM. In the last election, CPIM has polled more than 52% of vote. So we are confident that CPIM will more than that vote, 52% vote. We will get, and seat will be more. Only thing is that the government of India, they must have to see that election commission also that we are demanding for peaceful election.
Yes.
If the people are in a position to come to the polling booth, then we will certainly win, and the left-front government will form. Left-front government will form.
All right. The anti-incumbency factor, Deepak, how is it working at all there? Does it actually matter in a place like Tripura where they've seen?
Why not? See, the thing is, the fact still remains. In the last 20 years, there was hardly any opposition in the name of Congress. There was no opposition at all which could give them a challenge, take them to task. Even in the functioning of the government, there was nothing. I mean, the thing is, there was, at least now, people are seeking the change. The BJP is giving the projection or the hope of an alternative to the left. What was done by Congress in 1988. That's why I was saying I see the similar situation, picture.
Yeah.
You know, although Congress lasted only for 5 years, they had a lot of infighting among themselves. Sudhir Ranjan Majumdar had to, he was pulled down by the Samir Ranjan. And then, you know, ultimately the Congress finished after that, you know.
Okay, I believe Mr. Sudesh Verma wants to make a point. Sudeshi?
You see,
Yes.
I was laughing because the gentleman put a caveat. You know, the person from the left made a caveat that if people come and vote, you know, who is doubting the credibility of the election commission to hold free and fair elections? Of course, it will be free and fair. And the central government's job limits to giving the adequate forces with the election commission they want. It is the duty of the election commission to hold free and fair elections. We are very confident. So putting a caveat that if people come and vote, then they will win, otherwise they are accepting the fact. You know, Manik Sarkar has accepted. We used to have 1 point some percentage of votes, and now we have become the major force in Tripura. So naturally people are acknowledging that, and the kind of, you see, underdevelopment the state has witnessed. So as for example, Tripura happens to be the state which is still running on 4th pay commission. 1.5 lakh employees are still getting pay on the basis of 4th pay commission, where other states have implemented 7th pay commission. This is what we have said. This is the first job we are going to do there. So why is this injustice happening in Tripura? You see, malaria has already been eradicated, but close to 100 people from tribal areas, they have died of malaria in the state. They talk of development. The infant mortality rate is very high. Crime against women is very high. So all these statistics speak volume against the leftist government, which has actually showed that Tripura doesn't come out of this underdevelopment roadmap. And what we have promised, linking by road. What is HERA? HERA is not an individual. HERA is highway, then roadways, then airways. These are the things which modern state needs. And
but Mohammad Ali Khan here is of the opinion you can do that even while you're in the center. You don't need to be in Tripura to achieve that. Yes. Yes, please go ahead.
Of course, but most of the things are to be implemented by the state.
All right, let's listen. Let's listen to the other side too. Yes.
So I must say, I read their manifesto for Tripura. They came out with it a couple of days ago. And here's the irony of it. The BJP seems to have some very, very smart people who've identified exactly the problems that Tripura faces. As Mr. Verma was reading out, extremely high unemployment, above 5%, which is much higher than the national average. Women, less than 8% of women after birth have access to antenatal care. Crime against women is one of the highest across the country. Now, Mr. Verma and his colleagues have come up and identified these issues. They did the same thing when the Assam elections were on. They had very acutely and decently identified the issues in their manifesto. The fact is, again, this is a talent deficit government. This is a Jumla heavy Sarkar. Because what they do is, they'll tell you, yes, we know what your problems are. Ask them right now on this very channel. You had 4 years, and I'll tell you what your predecessors did. Mr. Vajpayee, he came up with what was known as the Northeast Investment Promotion Policy. It was implemented during the UPA 1's tenure. It gave a 10-year tax holiday to anyone who invested in any of the 7 sister states. You people have done nothing in the last 4 years. And you have the audacity to come on channels and say, if you're elected, you're asking the voters to put their faith in you after they've already done so 4 years ago. And you have failed in your duty then. So therefore, given your track record of non-performance, why should the young men and women believe you? And that, Ms. Tracy, is the big question. When we travel on the ground, when our people submit the reports to us and they tell us, when we come to these debates, we speak to our local people.
Yes.
They tell us that the young men and women, and this is why I said they're different from the youth of the rest of the country. They're asking the tough questions of the BJP representatives. Put up all the shiny India shining posters you want. Ultimately, your record of non-performance stands out.
All right. Sudesh ji, would you like to respond to that?
Of course, it's all gas. What he has said. There's no basis, no fact.
Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised with this answer? Okay. So let's take it forward because this is just
and what we have done.
All right. Let's take it forward then. And since you pointed out that the BJP has been careful and they've been very clever in pointing out the issues that are actually on the ground that are there. But let's see what happened in Assam. Eventually, BJP did get it. So absolutely. Maybe in a sense, the youth is, or for that matter, the state is also looking at parties that actually understand their issues. And maybe that is why perhaps the BJP is trying to get to that. Yes, when it comes to, of course, how work does get done on the ground, that's a different issue altogether. But just identifying the problem, when you are a state of the Northeast and you are anyway seen as a completely different zone altogether compared to the rest of the country, the very fact that your issues get identified, that in itself is a big step forward. Would you agree with that, Mr. Deepak?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And the thing is, like, let's not listen to people who are going to decide whom to choose. See, after all, Manipur also had seen Congress governments for so many years. Yes. Now there's a change. It appears now the government is working. At least there's no more corruption stories like what we saw in Ibobi's time. Mr. Ibobi's time, we have seen the extrajudicial killings. Yes. The government was responsible for that. The Supreme Court has very clearly said it. Yes. And the thing is, that's why there's a change. People seek change and they elect the different government, which is yet to be seen. Very interesting fact today is Yogi Adityanath is there in Tripura. Yes. And he's campaigning there. And you will ask me why. How come? UPCM. Tripura has 30% OBCs. They are the followers of Nath and another sect. And there are 18 Gorakhnath temples in Tripura. Okay. And that's why I think Yogi Adityanath has gone there to campaign for BJP. I think he also has followings. He was going there earlier before he became the chief minister. Now the election time, I think the BJP is trying to encash from that angle also. Okay. Because if he has a following, why not? Okay. He's a politician after all. Okay. But my friend must answer this. See, you can say, yes, Congress had Northeast was known as a Congress bastion. Yes. No, you lost Manipur, you lost Arunachal, you are losing even Nagaland, you are nowhere in Nagaland. You have a difficulty in sort of retaining your face in Meghalaya. And same is Tripura. And Nagaland, you are nowhere. You even didn't have the candidates who field. Okay. So, but the thing is, something must have gone somewhere. You must have analyzed as a party.
I'll answer, sir. I'll answer your questions. I think what you're presenting are fair questions. So obviously they merit an answer. First, let's talk about Assam. I think Assam came at a time when the BJP, जिसे हिंदी में वर्चस्व कहते हैं, BJP का वर्चस्व था. They were gaining on the national scale, etc. They still had some remnants of that honeymoon period. Now, you remember, Ms. Tracy, very interestingly, and this is one of the biggest lessons from Assam to demonstrate the hypocrisy of these people, why they can't answer questions. Himanta Biswa Sarma and all the various MLAs who left with him were being investigated as part of a Louis Berger scam and were considered to be corrupt. Suddenly, they go to the BJP and the BJP it's like a Ganga Snan, all of a sudden they're clean. So, I don't know what they were talking about. So, Assam, to my mind, represented the highest peak. They were reaching for, after that, you see there has been a systematic downfall. Remember, they were 282, right, when they came to power? They're 272 right now, right? Though, of course, by-elections are still to happen in about 3 seats.
Yes.
There is an erosion of the BJP's goodwill that's happening. I agree with sir. The Congress has been losing ground in the first 2-3 years. I agree, sir. Because the Congress, I firmly believe, the Congress of Rahul Gandhi is going through a process of change. This is a new Congress that is being born. Senior leaders in certain places are leaving.
So how many years,
but will that change?
Sir,
Yes, exactly. Will that change? Will we see that getting
I think you will see that happen this time.
Okay.
I think you will see a better performance this time.
Okay.
I want to point out something.
I need to, yes.
One last sentence.
Yes.
It is very interesting, and this is of course symptomatic of their party. You put forth these questions to them and they dismiss it. They have no answers. Mr. Verma gets nervous because jawab nahi de sakte na. So all they can do is ridicule the opposition, not the nation.
Mr. Verma can claim it that he's on OB right now, so therefore maybe the reception. But I
by
don't.
Choice.
No. I don't agree with that. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, eventually it all rests on the
No, I'd like
results.
to give a reply.
No. Okay, all right. Very quickly, Mr. Verma.
You say it's not that I don't want to waste such valuable time you have given to me on television.
What is the purpose of the debate,
trying to
Mr.
criticize
Verma?
the Congress?
If you are not
Because we
here
have
to
so
talk
many
about
positive
issues,
things to
then
say
what is the
about
purpose of
what
having
we
a
are going
debate?
to
Let
do
him
for
have his say,
Tripura,
sir.
how we are going to bring Tripura on the development roadmap, and that is what is important. Because Congress, nobody takes the Congress seriously. Even Congress leaders, Mr. Mohammad Khan is taken too seriously. Good spokesperson. So hats off to him. But people of this country don't take the Congress seriously. So Congress is not a contender in Tripura.
All right. What
May I also
eventually
remind you
matters
that we
is what is
technically
important
won
in
Manipur.
Tripura, and the left, of course, still a very big player there. Mr. Khan, I'll come to you for the last answer here. Just a few days to go now as Tripura goes to vote. What is it that, your party would like to say to the people? As far as rallies are concerned, things are happening. But through the medium of this channel, what would you like to say to the people? What is it that's going to, are you going to ask them to stick with you for what?
Of Tripura likes peace and tranquility among the tribals and non-tribals. This is what BJP is doing. This BJP is disturbing tranquility between the tribals and non-tribals by creating disturbance. That's why I am talking about the peaceful election. Then the second thing is about the OBC. I think this is something is wrong data you have collected. In Tripura, more than 49% already reserved. There was a Supreme Court right that you cannot cross the limit of the reservation more than 50. And Tripura Legislative Assembly once again passed resolution requesting the Government of India for making a scope with discussion of the Supreme Court so that the OBC reservation can be done. And you see, madam, during this period, the Tripura government has stood fast in the literacy. In regard to the healthcare, somebody is talking about this malaria.
You're reading the manifesto,
Mr.
Khan. You're reading your manifesto.
Well, I did tell him to give a message, so that's the message he's giving. Yes.
I don't know where he has collected this crime against women. Data in regard to the crime against women. Is it the data of this holiday Government of India's report? It is not there. The healthcare facility, educational facility, and more than the living condition of the people is more developed than that of the Congress rule and before. So we are confident that the people of Tripura will vote for left front government again.
All right. All the best to all of you. Thank you so much, of course, for joining me on the show. Will it be Manik or Hira, or will, of course, Rahul Gandhi pull up something? We'll have to wait and see. But thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining me on the show. As, of course, Rajya Sabha TV will keep track on all developments, not only in Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland as well. So keep an eye out for all developments on that front. That's it for the moment on The Big Picture.